GHK Lal on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. It's Tuesday, May 10th. Welcome to this edition of the National Outlook. Norton to put pressure on secretive government. Promises motions, protests, outreaches, and increase citizens' activism. Secretive government. The new opposition leader, I think we can call him that because he's still new, is hitting the nail on the head. His opposition group has a lot of work to do, a lot of catching up to do. And secretive government, as practiced by the PPP, is a good place to start. Too many things in this society are hidden from the public. Things that we need to know, things that belong in the public are being kept away from us by this government. And I agree with Mr. Norton that some pressure has to be applied. He has to hold the leaders of the government, he has to hold their feet to the fire. By that they must be accountable. By that they must be open. They must be frank. They must be accurate in what they put out. And it's not part of the story or when they feel like, but it must be the whole story and every time. On most things, if not everything with this oil, we've been living in secrecy. We've been living in secrecy before, for years, before the PPP, with the coalition APNU. That has to stop. This oil wealth belongs to Guyanese. It doesn't belong to government. Government doesn't own anything. Governments are elected to manage and oversee and guide and make the right decisions. But oil, because of its history, has hurt poor societies everywhere it has been. Therefore, and secrecy aids that. Secrecy is a sickness. Secretive government and secretive leadership speaks volumes as to what is going on below the surface. It gives rise to speculations and the worst of suspicions. And I think the government should be wise enough to know that secrecy is not in their interest. And this is what Mr. Norton is saying. He's going to put pressure on the secretive government. He promises motions, that's parliament, protests, and he said perhaps, I think what he is trying to say that the government wants him to go on the street, but he will work that out to suit the circumstances. And outreaches in increase citizens' activism. The PNC failed miserably at outreach when it was in government. After being out of office for a very long time, 2 decades plus 3 years, all it could do was look after itself when it got into power. Its own people complained bitterly of how they were neglected. So outreach is a good thing. Secretive government is a bad thing. Motions in parliament, good thing also. Keep up the pressure. Protests, you've got to handle that one very, very carefully, given the polarized nature of our society. But I think Mr. Norton is on the right track, and he needs to keep pressing and ratcheting up the pressure on the government. Become open. Speak the truth. I'm GHK Lal on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Thank you for listening to the National Outlook.